Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Shout out to all the subscribers out there and the people, the long suffering viewers that have been with me for years as I predict politics. Thanks so much for coming today to watch this video. Now, as you know, it's not me, really, it's my spirit guides. It's a nice little mixture of human and non physical energy that comes together to give you these videos. So, as I often say, it's about 60% Susan, 40% spirit guides. That can change a little bit. Gonna dive right in because this is crazy talk, what I'm about to say. But you know what? Aren't we surrounded by crazy people and crazy times right now? Yes, we are. So it should be normal. This should just absolutely be normal. I'm going to tell you about a very rich, wealthy guy who used to or still owns overstock.com. I'm not sure. But this guy got wrapped up in the whole MAGA movement and the whole 45 should be the president. He got really wrapped up into all that. You know, a little bit like my pillow guy, except for this guy has a lot more money than the my pillow guy, let me tell you. So, who I'm talking about, this guy's name is Patrick. I've got some information that I'm going to be looking at because it's so convoluted that it's just convoluted. So I'm going to be talking about details. The details are this guy, Patrick Bernie, Byrne. Um, he's really like one of the big leaders in the ELECTION, denial. I cannot spell certain words. If you don't think we're being censored, you're wrong. I can't say certain words, in other words. So here's the thing, this guy was so loud and proud about his position about the voting machines. He said he had proof. He went on every kind of media and said, there's proof, it's happening. You guys have to do something. Well, guess what? In a wonderful twist of karmic glee, I can tell you that Hunter Biden, oh, yeah, Hunter Biden has come after this guy and said, you're saying I'm involved. I'm coming after you. Now, the feds are saying, well, we need a deposition from you, Patrick Byrne. We need a deposition from you. You need to come in and tell us your side of the story. Well, instead of that, this guy goes to or flees to the UAE. It's because they don't have extradition to the United States. And then he phones in to the feds, to the DOJ, and says, I'm not going to make that court case because I'm over here in the UAE and I can't come back. So if you want to get my if you want to interview me, you'll need to fly over here because that's where I'm at. Is this not a rich person talking to tell the popo, you're just going to have to come where I am? Would that work for us? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to work for the DOJ or whoever this is that's investigating him either. I don't know if it's state or federal is what I'm saying. So they said, no, sir. No, sir. Get your American behind back over here to the United States and do the thing. Well, he says, I can't because this is that thing where you call into work and you say your dog ate, your project, or the dog ate your computer and you're at the computer store trying to get it fixed. This is baloney, is what this is. So he says to them, well, here's what happened. On good word from an undercover federal agent who I cannot name because they're undercover, I have good word from this person that Venezuela has put a hit out on me and I can't come back to the United States. So if I do, these Venezuelans will be in America and they will do something to me. This is his excuse. None of it is proven. He's offered nothing, zero zilch that this is a thing. So that in and of itself is just crazy, but it gets a little crazier. This same guy, allegedly, according to reporting, he is attached to, in a relationship with, at the very least, chummy with the Russian spy Marina Butina, one of those voting machine companies is involved in this, and so is Hunter Biden. How does it get any crazier, right? How does it get any crazier? And in Venezuela, then he drags Venezuela into this and says they're trying to get me. And these people have lost their minds, right? I mean, they're so used to this I'm untouchable, right? Like I'm a millionaire, billionaire, I'm untouchable, you can't hurt me, I can say whatever I want, and you're just going to have to deal with it. That was then, and we're not going back. We're turning a page. We're going into the future. And we have a prosecutor who's going to be president, and she's going to have herself a new DOJ. And we're going to start really going after these people in earnest. And I'm going to talk about whether or not other people will flee in just a minute. So, this guy, Patrick, seems to be sort of the first one to crack, right? He's the first one to say, the feds are coming, the feds are coming, I'm going. And so, what does that mean for all the others that are involved in this? Because we know without a shadow of a doubt, we've read the Jan 6 report, we've seen a lot of the different cases and different testimony that's been released. We know there were people there, and we know there were senators there. We know that Congress people are involved in various parts of this. So this is really important because this guy who has the money cracked and ran. Now, when I go into this energy, they don't want him, right? They don't want him. I think he's in Dubai, but I'm not exactly sure. The reporting on this is sketchy. It's kind of like here, there, and everywhere. But they don't want him. And this goes back to that vision that I saw of 45 fleeing, and I saw this, I don't know, years ago, fleeing to sort of that kind of area, the Middle East. And I saw this person that looked like maybe MBS, the Prince of Saudi Arabia, or maybe somebody else that, looks generally like him, holding this person, by the scruff of the neck and saying, here, I've got something for you. I found it in my backyard, like the mean lady that lives next door when the ball goes over there, or the mean man, and you can't go get your ball because, well, in Texas, they might shoot you. But anyway, when I was growing up, they would just hold the ball until your parents got home, and then they would call and tell you what terrible kids your kids are. So it's sort of like, this landed in my backyard and it belongs to you kind of energy. But in that vision that I had, what happened was whoever this was picked up the phone and called the White House directly, like the bat phone. And Biden is like, no, 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 we're not going to do it like this. We're going to do it through regular channels. We're not going to do backroom deals. This is public. If you want to do it public, put him on your diplomat's plane, bring him back, and we'll do this through public channels. So there was a sense that whoever had this person, and maybe it's not 45, but it's a high value American, just like this Patrick dude, then he becomes a pawn, right? He's got value. And what are you going to give me for this value? Because these people are used to working with 45, which is all cloak and dagger. It's all hush money and mob mentality. I've got something now that you're going to want to pay me for, right? No, Biden or even Harris is not going to pay for some numbnut that ran away from our justice system. Not going to happen. If you don't want him there, get rid of him, push him across the border, send him back, do whatever you're going to do, right? So, and it's not the same as if this was an American in a jail, like an unjustly jailed American. This is not the same. This is a fugitive, okay? Now, the way, when I go into that energy, the way the United States thinks of fugitives is sooner or later, we're going to catch you. And they do. It might be 6 months. It might be 3 days. It might be a year. Sooner or later, you're going to get caught. You're going to live your whole life looking over your shoulder. This guy, and let me go into the energy of Venezuela, right? He's saying that there's like a $15 million bounty on his head, and that if he's not safe in the United States, like Venezuela can't get him in Dubai. So, number one, and number two, if he is high value, then Dubai might give him to whoever's looking for him. I mean, this guy he didn't make a good choice. He would have been much safer dealing with us and our judicial system than running abroad to people who don't have democracy, who don't have, humanity in a lot of ways, who aren't humane, in other words. So this was a wrong decision by this guy. And it goes into that energy of, with enough money, I can be okay. I can get around this situation. There's not enough money, dude. Whatever money you have can be frozen by the United States. So you just moved your little physical human body over there. I'm sure you've got money hidden in offshore accounts. But as we've seen before, the United States has a pretty good working association with other countries and can freeze your money no matter where it's at. So I don't think this is going to work for him. I feel like he's going to either be returned, and that's the words I'm getting. Perhaps something untoward is going to happen to this guy. I don't see him living his best life over there. That's just not going to happen. I think he's got family here. I think he's got a son, and I think his son is implicated in this whole recording device thing. Again, I don't have all the details because this is all sort of being reported on, and it's not really for public knowledge just yet. But this guy just runs off and leaves family here. That's such a chicken shit thing to do, right? But it proves to you Hunter Biden still has agency. Hunter Biden is the one that made this guy flee, because he's suing or somehow charged, he's involved in this deposition thing. It's beautiful, right? I think it's beautiful. But when I go into the energy of, right, so they don't want him. This could be a thing that actually happens while Biden is president. It could be a thing that a trade is made. You trade him, we'll trade something that you want. It could just be, I mean, nothing is free, right? Seriously and honestly, especially on the international stage. I was going to say it might just be goodwill, where whoever it is, Dubai, wherever he's at, they say, oh, like we said, we found this over here and it belongs to you. Here it is. That's not free. It could be seen as free will. It could be promoted as free will. It could be promoted as goodwill. But on the backside, there is a sense of, you're going to help us in some way. So Hunter Biden for the win. Who would have thought, right? And he's not backing down. When I go into his energy, he's not backing down. He's gone through his dark night of the soul. He's pled guilty to tax fraud or whatever that ended up being. He's been hounded, and he's done. He's not going to run. He's like, no, here, I'll plead guilty to this, but now watch, because now I've got no F's to give. Zero. I will not stop. I want justice. I haven't been served justice, and now I'm going to get justice. And we have Lady Karma on the assist. Hunter Biden for the win. Lady Karma gets the assist. Okay. That guy his energy is not good. I feel sorry for him in a way. Of course, this is the spirit guides making me say that, because if it was Susan, I'm just not telling what Susan would be saying. But so that's going on. That's important. So it's also important because people like 45 and various other people are looking at this situation like, if this guy's going to pull it off, then we're going to follow suit. So they're watching to see if this guy can really thumb his nose up at the American judicial system from afar and get away with it. We know 45 has done it, but can we do it? So it's sort of like a test. See, the problem is when I go into the energy of that energy, these other bozos don't think they're at risk. They just don't think they're at risk. They really believe that they have that. Maybe they've gotten pardons. Maybe they've got a pocket pardon. And they're like, bye, sucker. I can stay here because I got my pocket pardon, right? I've read on this before, but so I guess there was a pardon, correct me if I'm wrong, that was like some like Heinz 57, like you, whatever it is that you did, you are pardoned. So be it. You know what I mean? Like a blank check pardon. We don't care what you ever did wrong, anytime, anywhere, you are pardoned. But what's going to happen is, and if that is true, if there is such a thing as a blank check pardon, what's going to happen is that pardon emanates from 45, period, end of story. It's 45's pardon. It's from that day that the pardon was given backwards. It doesn't go forwards. It's not for future crimes. You do future crimes, it's on you, right? But I got you from here back. So again, these people think they're too cute by half. They think, oh, I'll get the Supreme Court to say that I'm immune. Well, you're only immune for official acts. Official acts are not official if you're not official. If you're not officially the president, you're not immune. So again, if these people have got pocket pardons, it's not for all the things they did after the pardon to cover up. It's always the cover up, to cover up the state actions, crimes. In what I'm getting is, in covering up the state crimes, they committed more crimes that are federal crimes. All that to say they're not going to get away with it. But they think they are. So since they think they are, they're not running away. They're not at the place where Mr. Patrick is, where he had to give a deposition. They're not there yet. So when you go into their energy, they're like, poor guy, he should have got a pocket pardon. You know what I mean? He should have donated more or whatever. I don't know how this man didn't get a pocket pardon. How did that happen? This could be, I don't know if there's state charges, but anyway, we know that 45 was stingy. Some people got him, some people didn't. There's no rhyme or reason to what he did. So maybe this guy didn't get the pardon because he really believes that he's going to prison. He really, really believes that. That is why he left. So so what would happen is these people would have to believe they're going to prison before they'll take that very desperate step of running away. And when I go into 45's energy, Malta's coming up. I don't know why. But when I go into, it could be that he's connected to somebody from Malta. It doesn't necessarily mean he's going to Malta. It means the energy of Malta is in his energy when he thinks about, how am I going to deal with this? What am I going to do? Let me just look at that, because now I'm in Georgia looking at, for some reason, see, a lot of things are happening behind the scenes that we don't know about. Grand juries are happening. Cases are moving forward or backwards that we don't know. We're not privy to. Or if it is public, it's only partially public. So he's concerned about, I'm seeing her face, but not her name. Fonnie Willis. He's concerned about Fonnie Willis. And honestly, I'm not sure if he's concerned or if he's planning a kind of an attack on her. It feels like he's doing something to diminish her. So his, when you go into somebody's energy and the energy is concerned or focused on something, it could be either way. And in this situation, he feels like he's doing something else to her reputation or her standing, her authority. He's trying to undermine her authority. It's like one last boom. Also around the whole Georgia. I mean, it's interesting that in some ways Georgia saved our democracy. A Republican in Georgia saved our democracy by not finding thousands of votes. But 4 years later, it seems like Georgia has doubled down on that energy of conceit. So something is going on in Georgia that's not great. That's duplicitous. The guides say is duplicitous. So watch out for that space. It's not going to matter. None of this is going to matter. Harris is going to be president. I still see her being president. But it does matter in the sense that there is a big energy in Georgia as far as the VOT and suppressing that. So there is an energy, there's a concentrated energy around restricting and constricting. Like I just get this constricting energy, cutting off the flow of the VOTEs, but also at the same time doing something to Fani Willis's investigation. So all that to say, when I go into 45's energy, he's not thinking about running away. He still thinks that even if Kamala Harris wins, he feels like it just goes into overtime. Like you know what I mean? Like the game isn't over. I just go into overtime. And the energy has always been switching to his health. The energy has always been, yes, something could happen to his health. Yes, I think I've always seen an ischemic stroke. Always, for a very long time. I've always seen mental decline. And I don't see him crossing over quickly and at one time, unless it's foul play. And it could be foul play because people want him out just as much as people want him in. Okay? It serves the purpose because then he's a martyr, and then Vance can ascend, which was the whole plan anyway. The whole plan anyway was Vance, not 45. 45 is the cult leader. He's the guru they all prayed to. But if they can remove him and make him a martyr, then Vance can be the surrogate. Okay, that's their plan. Okay, it's not going to work, but that's their plan because nobody likes Vance. Vance is never going to be a surrogate. They don't like Vance. They don't even like the Republicans. So, talking about his health, I would say to you that I think the energy is coalescing around the people have to choose. We're not going to get out of this. We have to go to the polls. We have to overcome all of this suppression. We have to overcome all the shenanigans, and we have to do the thing. We have to do the thing. We have to prove we've learned our lesson by saying we repudiate this energy. Okay? Once we repudiate the energy, then 45 is like, okay, I'm on overtime. I'm not going to concede this, right? I'm not going to cede this because I'm going to the referees. I'm going to challenge it. But then is when the health thing can really happen. The real health thing can really happen because of the stress. Because now we have, well, this is another thing. Thank you for telling me. They wanted me to talk about this, but then they haven't been bringing it up. You have the sentencing. You have Judge Merchan's sentencing. So here we are, 45. He loses the ELECTIOM. And now he's looking at the sentencing. That right there is enough to cause some kind of health situation. But here's the thing that might cause a health situation for us. Forewarned is forearmed. Because this is being contested, even if it's baloney, Merchan might delay the sentencing for 30 more days to allow recounts. You've been warned. I do this so you don't lose your mind when it happens, okay? I'm hearing the words, an abundance of caution. For an abundance of caution, because there does seem to be some questions around the counts, I'm going to delay the sentencing for 30 days. Does that man not live, 45? He lives on this extension delay. He literally, I think his whole life, that's his primary strategy is delay. Give me a week, give me a day, give me a year. Because in that time, anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. And that's the way he thinks. Give me a week, I can make a miracle happen. Somebody could disappear. You know what I mean? All of a sudden there's no witness, right? So that's the thing, right? Now, so I don't see 45 fleeing because I think he's too closely watched. And I think that I can't guarantee that he won't flee, but I get like 90, 95% chance that he doesn't flee. By the time he understands that his goose is cooked, by the time he understands that he's really in dire straits, it's too late. It's almost like you need to sneak up on him and slap the handcuffs on him because otherwise he would flee, right? So it needs to be that situation where one minute he's at a court date and it's all going hunky dory, and the next minute there's handcuffs on him. That's the only way we're going to do this. And so the bottom line is that he could, and this is the same three things they've been telling you. He could go out through a window. You understand? He could go out through a health event, or he could go to the rubber room. The three things they've been talking about forever. He has free will. He could decide not to drink that special Diet Coke that somebody brought him with an accent, right? He could decide not to do that. He is street smart. There's a reason he's been around for this long. He's street smart. Okay. Now, I'm going to switch gears because there's something really intriguing I want to talk about. And again, it goes to what we're going through right now, but it also goes to the big picture. So we're going to stick with, weird things that are just par the course too much right now in our lives. And I'm going to be talking to you about a guy named CatTurd. Yes, his name is social media name is CatTurd, all one word, and he's trademarked it. He's very proud of his name. CatTurd is very popular and well known on Twitter X. That's pretty much his domain, but he's really well known because he's super MAGA. And I do believe he's had 15 minutes of fame. I think 45 has thrown his name out, or he's gotten some notoriety. And you might imagine that the liberals just trash him. I mean, he's not the smartest tool in the shed. He leaves himself open and available to look like an idiot, and they do this to him. But let me tell you why it's important that we're talking about CatTurd today. Because CatTurd just said, and he's talking about Milton. So he says, it's 180 miles an hour. It's 185 miles an hour. Wait, it's 145 miles an hour. Oh, wait again. It's 165 miles an hour. Oh, wait, now it's 120 miles an hour. Oh, wait, it's 115 now hitting the coast. And his final statement is, I'll never listen to the Weather Channel again. I'll never listen to the Weather Channel again. Okay. Ha ha ha. They're so stupid. MAGAs are so dumb. Okay. We need to stop with that because this is much more serious than MAGAs are stupid. Much more serious. I'm about to help you understand why it's important. Listen, do you think CatTurd is doing this on his own? No. Do you think he's getting money? Yes. Do you think he's getting money allegedly, potentially from somebody that hates the United States of America, like, say, Russia? Yes. Okay. Let's connect some dots, shall we? So, Project 2025 wants to get rid of NOAA, the Government Weather Forecasting Department, the agency. They are against anything having to do with the government. CatTurd is over here saying, I'm never going to watch the Weather Channel. Now, you would think that Republicans would just go, kind of crazy people. What the heck, man? I mean, if I don't watch the Weather Channel, I don't know whether to wear a coat or bring an umbrella. But no, but no. What's happening here is not that. What's happening here is they're teaching people that follow them, their culters, their cult people, to distrust the government. Actually, distrust everything. Distrust the media, the Weather Channel. Distrust the government. No Department of Education. No EPA. No FBI. We don't trust them. No NOAA. We don't trust the weather. We don't trust FEMA. We don't trust anybody. I mean, from the Weather Channel, which is capitalism, to FEMA, you guys, what they're doing is they're sculpting, they're literally chiseling these people's brain matter to believe you can't trust anything. And honestly, it's working on the left too, because on the left, we don't trust the Supreme Court. We don't trust the federal courts. Congress is in an all-time low approval rating. We don't trust it either. Oh, who does that benefit? Complete chaos. That benefits people, countries that want chaos. What does chaos benefit? An oligarchy, an authoritarian regime. This is the playbook. This is the playbook. Oh, it's so funny. CatTurd is so stupid. He's so stupid. Nobody listens to him. Let's see. This was taken, I took this screenshot yesterday at 9 p.m. At that time, this screenshot had 634,000 views. 634,000 views. These people get millions and millions and millions of views. Even if you take 20 or 30% off of them to say they're bots, even if they're only getting 500,000 views, that's a lot of people. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's propaganda, it's disinformation, it's misinformation. You know, right now, it is being reported that meteorologists are getting death threats. The meteorologists that you watch on TV, that's about as bland as milk toast, are getting death threats because these people have been cooked. Their brains have been cooked to believe nothing. Chaos. That's why we can't laugh at this stuff. That's why this stuff is important. Board of Education, bad. Books, bad. Everything is bad. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's going to be a very small subset of people who their brain has been cooked so long they're not reachable. Those same people are the kind of people that are going to do something unlawful, at which point they're going to be arrested. They're going to step outside of the law, at which point they will be dealt with. In the meantime, there was a thing recently where I saw that I think it was Fox News, got so many actual text from viewers that were so mad about their coverage that they changed their coverage. It works. It works. But divided, we fall. If we think we're just one person in a red state, that's not true. You may be one person in a red state that can't put a sticker on your car, but you're not one person in a red state that can't contact your congressperson. If we all contact our congressperson, they're going to feel the heat and they're going to start slightly changing their rhetoric, slightly changing their votes. That in conjunction with, because this is a multi-pronged approach, but that in conjunction with the fact that these people that get out there and do something that breaks a law will be dealt with. So we put the pressure on the Congress people. These people act up, they get dealt with. In this way, we really start dealing with the problem. You're right. You can't fix this problem. I can't fix this problem. We can do our little part, and we can let law enforcement do their part, and then we can let the administration do their part. We're all got a part in this, and to think that we don't is wrong. We cannot abdicate our power in the political realm, in your personal life. As we go into December, as we go into 2025, there's a whole new energy. And it's all about bottom up, bottom up. Okay. And it's gonna, when we have that energy, like right now you might not have it because we're not there yet. But when you have that energy of screw it, and we're seeing that, right? We're seeing a lot of people put signs out that haven't felt safe putting signs out. I'm not saying everybody can do it, but more of us are saying, screw it. I'm going to do it anyway. Well, wait until December and January. You're going to have the energy. You're going to have this anger that's just going to be like, that is enough. We've had enough. We've been pushed over the limit. And we're going to show up and we're going to get in these people's email inboxes, comment on their videos, comment on whatever it is that they're doing social media wise. Okay. And the last thing I'll say, because this is super hopeful, I wasn't going to talk about this, but this is very important actually. The spirit guides have been worried for a long time because social media and media, newspapers is a big part of the problem, a huge part of the problem. So, and then the other part of the problem is these people that don't read media. How do you reach them? How do you reach all the people that are gamers, that never pick up YouTube, that never go on any of the social media? All they do is they come home from work and they're on their game. They're on Twitch. Well, guess what? Our amazing, about to be president, Kamala Harris, her team, which is amazing, had Tim Walz host some sort of live event on Twitch, which Twitch is the gamer platform. This is what the spirit guides have been saying for 4 years. I feel like I simultaneously want to just lay down on the floor because, you know what I mean? Like when you've been holding energy and the thing is over and you just want to lay down. You want to collapse. That's kind of how I feel. And I also feel like I want to jump for joy because the spirit guides have been telling you guys for all these years, in the gaming community, when you're playing your game in the dark and you're chatting with somebody from some other country, who knows who it is? You don't know who it is. They start indoctrinating and radicalizing you. If you're depressed, if you're feeling socially as an outcast, if you're confused, if you're having a bad financial situation, again, you feel like a societal outcast, or you're feeling like an outcast in your family, whatever it is, you're vulnerable to cults. You're vulnerable to radicalization. These people have been radicalizing these lone wolf SHOOTERSs. The guides have been saying this for years. We need to get into the gaming community. We need to rescue these kids, these people, these men, these boys. We need to rescue them. We need to help them. We need to give them mental health. We need to make sure they understand their country is for them. Do you see how this fits in with what we just talked about? How they want everyone to believe the federal government is against them? Go all the way back to Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan is the one that started this 30 years ago. By having Tim Walz host a live Twitch and represent our government is huge. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy because we've given up our power to the gaming community, to whoever the hell wanted to show up and radicalize these people. It becomes the norm to talk about how bad your country is. It's cool. Even with service members, they're telling me it's cool to say, yeah, I'm in the army, but this place effing sucks. It's cool because in society, you're an outcast, but to these people, you're really cool. So it's going to take a while for us to help Americans, all Americans, and let's talk about the Black community. Of all the communities, the Native American and the Black communities are the ones that really have no reason to trust the government. So there's a lot of work to be done here. There's a lot of healing that has to happen here. But also, the government has to show up and continue showing up and prove to these people, we got your back. We are you. You are us. It's not top down anymore. It's bottom up. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz is bottom up. They are bottom up. They didn't go to Ivy League schools. They're not in that precious little set of the political class. They came up through the ranks. They made choices in their lives to represent us. They didn't, and I'm not saying, not judging anybody who decides to go for the money, who decides to go for Wall Street or whatever. But I'm saying that if you want to represent the people, it sure does help to be people. Okay. So I think this is great. And I think it gives us hope for the future because this dynamic duo of Walz and Harris they understand Americans. And as they pass policies that help us, that lower the cost of diabetes, that forgive student debt, that take medical debt down, take it off your credit, maybe even forgive some of it, to make it a policy to allow government funding, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, to help pay for in-home, at-home care, which surprisingly has been proven to be cheaper. But guess what? At-home care doesn't go to the mega corporations. They don't want that. They don't want NOAA. They want to own the Weather Channel. They want to own schools. They want to own everything. They don't want the government to own anything. They want profit out of everything. And it is true. I'm saying that, and here CatTurd is, hammering on the Weather Channel. He made a mistake. He should have said NOAA. But that's okay, because once these oligarchs take over, they'll be able to reprogram everybody, because you want to know why? Well, you're not going to have any choices or rights. You're not going to have any media. It's going to be Russia here. You're going to have one station. Republicans always vote against their own interest. What is that? Giving up your power. You guys, we have to take our individual power back. Don't give it to a Republican. Don't give it to a Democrat. Give it to the people that represent you. Give it to the people who are doing the thing for you. Right now, it's Democrats. If they don't do the thing we want, then we get to VOTE as long as we exercise our power and we don't give it away. This is going to happen. We're going that direction. They see it happening. These Heritage Foundation, whoever they are, they see it happening. They're trying to create chaos so that we don't understand our own power. Okay, so in your own personal life, please understand this applies to you too. Put up boundaries. Understand what they mean. Watch YouTube videos on boundaries. Protect your own personal power. It's okay to have power. We don't have to give our power away to anybody. We're not giving our power away to Harris or Walz. We're actually standing side by side, both of us, having our own individual power, walking on the same path together. That's healthy. These other people, the red people, they're giving their money, their power, everything away, thinking that Big Daddy is going to protect them. If you think you need protecting, then you're not in your power. Watch fear. Watch what makes you fearful. Back away from it. Get your power back. Okay. Whew, I hope this video has been helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think and take really, really good care of yourself. Okay. Everything's going to be okay. But I think it's important for us to understand the energy. I think it's important, you guys. It's not going to be enough for us to just go, and do the thing. We got to do the thing all the time because we have power. And there's more of us. They've done a good job of making us think I'm the only blue person in this whole red. I'm a blue dot in a. You're not. There's millions of you, but you've been brainwashed by them, gaslit by them to think that. Reach out online, reach out, find the community, join your local community. Okay? Take really good care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. For entertainment purposes only.